Hey everyone, it's Raite here. So I'm going to start doing this new idea where I review the episodes in the series because since I haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh in like forever, I'm really like not caught up and I also don't really have a lot of ideas on what to do. I thought it'd be great to touch up on some stuff. So if you hate the idea or you love the idea, let me know. And why don't we get started? All right, so I'm gonna do a quick summary of what the beginning part of the series was supposed to be about. Because even though part one is Yuya versus Specter, the original idea was to have Yugo versus Yuto as one. The reason it isn't is because, copyright, YouTube, all that stuff. But anyway, I'll give a brief summary, okay? Because since, the whole video got corrupted and all, and I just don't really want to go through that horrible stuff again. Um, yeah, I'll just summarize. I'll just do a big quick summary. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. Um, but yeah, so the problem begins in VRAINS, where Playmaker is just going around there fighting Knights of Hanoi and all that stuff, and all of a sudden, like he sees like that big dragon that you see at the beginning of the show, and people are just disappearing, practically dying. The show never made it clear whether they died or not. They probably didn't though, but whatever. Yeah. So and he's like, well, what the hell's going on? I mean, like this wasn't a thing. Like this is new. So he's all confused and stuff. He doesn't know what to do. Um, so we cut back to Yuya. He's having I guess you could say like a nightmare or like a dream or whatever, but it's not like actually a dream. He's having weird flashbacks about what's happening in the Xyz dimension, but he gets confused because he doesn't know. He's never seen that in his life, so he doesn't know like why he's dreaming that stuff since he's never seen that before. So he steps out. He steps outside, try and get some fresh air. Then all of a sudden he gets this weird feeling inside of him and something just tells him that he has to go to the park. So that's where he goes. He goes to the park, and that's where he finds Yugo versus Yuto, or well, the both of them there. Um, his mom finds out like in the like out of nowhere, probably like in the morning. She finds that Yuya isn't there. He isn't in his room, and he isn't anywhere in the house. So she calls on Yuzu and Gongensaka to help find him, because they're his best friends, and she doesn't know like where he could be and all that stuff. So Yuzu finds him in the park, like how he does in the show. She finds him in the park, and this is after the duel. So he's already passed out and stuff. Yuto's already been absorbed because he loses the duel. He loses the duel to Yugo. So yeah, he gets absorbed into Yuya and he faints. He faints, like how it happens in the show. While in the background, though, something that isn't shown until later is that I cannot for the life of me remember what his name is. The gray haired guy. I do remember his dub name, but I cannot for the life of me remember his Japanese name, and I can't really look it up now. Um, but I'll for the time being I'll call him by his dub name, Declan. He's been watching the entire duel and stuff, so he's like, "This is interesting. Like, we should keep a closer eye on this kid, because this is out of the ordinary." Again, like it does in the show. That's when we cut to the next day with back in VRAINS. Yusaka's doing the same thing. He's supervising like VRAINS, fighting the Knights of Hanoi and whatever. So just as he is about to leave with suddenly this huge data storm just appears out of nowhere and sucks them in. It sucks Playmaker in, but instead of like doing I don't know if the show ever explained like what happens if you get lost in a data storm. I think you die, or I don't remember. It's been years. But in the series case, is he actually gets teleported into the quote unquote Arc 5 dimension. He's super lost. He doesn't know what's going on. And he's just trying to look for ways to, I don't know, figure out like how to get home and all that stuff. And again, in the back of the scenes, um, the Declan, he gets this weird like you know how in the show when Yugo is like dueling the obelisk force, and suddenly when he synchro summons, Declan's office gets like the huge like synchro sign being like somebody is synchro summoning or whatever that was. The same thing happens, only like it's a bunch of question marks saying like uh meaning that they don't know what kind of summoning method this guy uses. Like it's almost like he's from a different world as you can possibly think. So that's where it ends off with Yusaku for the time being. We head over back to Yuya, where he's feeling a little better. He's still really confused as to what happened. Finding two guys that looks exactly like him is, weird, game changer. So he's just confused. Yuzu's there to support him and all that jazz until he decides, like, I need some air. I'm just gonna go walk around. And that is when he bumps into Yusaku. Yuya's like, I've never seen you around here before. Like, are you lost or something? And Yusaku's like, yeah, actually, I just got teleported from my home to here. Like, can you tell me how to get back and stuff? And Yuya's like, oh, that's weird. Weird things are happening to you too, because something really weird happened to me too. And I don't remember how I wrote it. I have like all my notes right in front of me, but I never planned to write that down. But for some way they figure out like, oh, if weird things are happening in VRAINS and something weird happened to Yuya, it's probably all connected somehow. Like, maybe, and Yuya's like, if you help me, I'll help you, sort of deal. And even though Yusaku's very happy about it, he doesn't seem to be a big fan of Yuya at the time. He's like, okay, I'll help you, you help me, done deal. Just as when they're about to, like start talking, figure out like, okay, what do we do now? A helicopter comes in and there's Declan there, picking up Yuya and Yusaku, being like, you guys, I think I know what's going on. If you guys come with me, then I think I can explain more. So that's what they do. They get into the helicopter. And waiting there, when they get there, there's all the side characters that you've been seeing so far, like Shun, Kaito, Edo. No rivalry exists. Well, like the rivalry between like Edo and Kaito and all that stuff doesn't exist in the series. Like Edo having something against what was Yuya's dad's name again? Uh I don't remember his name. Maybe someone's gonna correct me later on. But there is no rivalry there. They're there to help, to assist. Um, they're all there too, and Yuya's like, okay, who are these people? Like, are they gonna help us in some way? And that's when Declan explains everything. He's saying he's not exactly sure what happened in VRAINS because he has no connections to that place, but he does explain the why Yuto and Yugo and all that stuff is. Yuya obviously doesn't believe him and stuff because who would believe that when they first hear that. But he also explains why the reason why he brought everyone there. He thinks that Yuya and Yusaku have enough talent that they could join I guess I'd call them Lancers. I never really thought about a name for them. I just threw them in the series, never explaining why, but I guess you could call them Lancers, to go fight Leo Akaba. That's his father. He doesn't decide to give them details. He's just like, you know what? If you help me, I'll leave you alone, sort of thing. And the same thing, like you help me, I help you, sort of thing. So they're like, you know what? Okay, if you really need it, I'll help you. And even though Yusaku's not up to it, he's like, as long as this guy's gonna help me get home, or at least help me, or at least explain to me like what's going on in VRAINS, I guess I might as well. So they set off and they make it to academia. There's no synchro dimension, there's no Xyz dimension sort of thing. No, straight to academia. They go there, right? But if we move back to the quote unquote Arc 5 universe, Yuzu is just, you know, like she already knows that they left and everything, but she's just walking, I think around the streets. I think I put her at the warehouse. And that's where like in the background, she hears Yuri's voice. And this is the scene where Yuri kidnaps Yuzu. So it wasn't that like she's kidnapped off screen. It's while Yuya and the others are at academia is when Yuzu just gets kidnapped. So yeah, she's kidnapped and they're at academia. And Yuya gets this like weird inner feeling that, you know, like something's missing, like something just isn't right. And Declan, I guess, I still can't remember his name. He gets like I want to say a notification, but like a call from someone in his office saying that one of the bracelet girls just got kidnapped. So that's what he says. Yuzu's been kidnapped by academia. And Yuya's like, oh my god, my girlfriend got kidnapped. Oh my gosh, time to go rescue her. And stuff like that. So that's how it leads to Yuya versus Specter. The video, I guess, this is coming from my imagination, like after, like 2 years after making this video and matching it together with the series. I decided to put in that like right before the Specter versus Yuya duel actually starts, that Leo and Revolver are talking about like, oh, there are intruders here. Intruders meaning the Lancers. We need to get rid of them because we don't want them to interfere with the project, because the only way that we can stop the demon duelist is with the project. So Revolver's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And then he turns to Specter saying like, I'm gonna leave this to you, good luck. It's like, and Specter's like, oh, okay. So that is how we start Yuya versus Specter. So as we start here, you can see that the academia student is pointing Yuya like, Yuzu's over there. It's like, okay, thanks. So he runs in this mysterious place. Right there. He doesn't know where he is, but he's there calling out Yuzu, like, because his main goal right now isn't what Declan wants. It's him wanting to find Yuzu. So he's basically on his own at this point. Everyone's just split up to try and like find more information before like actually heading into like the main boss, I guess you could say. And this is where Yuya is. He's alone. So that's where he goes, and that is when he meets up with Specter. He's saying the real dialogue is, yeah, my name is Specter. You weren't supposed to be here, and my instructions are to eliminate you from existence. No, not from existence, but you know, the typical I'm here to eliminate you speech that villains usually give. And they're like, oh yeah, well, if you're not gonna give my girlfriend back, then I'm gonna go berserk on you, because obviously that's what Yuya does. He goes berserk all the time, because it isn't academia versus VRAINS without Yuya going berserk at least once or twice per episode, right? So blah blah blah. The entire video is pretty much Yuya versus Specter, until comes the end where Specter gets defeated and Yuya moves on. But what Yuya doesn't know is, since he's already left and left Specter behind, he doesn't know that the rule is that if VRAINS characters are defeated in duels, then they turn into data, and if any other like Arc 5 or I guess, you know, in Edo's case, GX or Zexal or whatever, any characters that are not from VRAINS, they are turned into cards. but all VRAINS characters are turned into Data. So yeah, the episode finishes with him turning into Data, and finale. That is the end of episode one. Well, quote unquote episode one. I guess you could call Yugo versus Yuto the prologue sort of thing. So yeah, that's what happens, and that's when it leads on to episode two. But I am not going to actually cover episode two in this episode, or at least in this video. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is something I'm trying out. Like, I just got this idea like when I made that post on the community post. It's just something I thought about. So if you guys like the idea, then let me know in the comments. And if you guys have theories as to what the lore behind the next video would be, which I believe is Playmaker versus Obelisk Force, if you guys have any lore ideas like that, I mean, you guys don't know about it. I'm the only one that knows like the actual 100% plot of it. But it'd be great to see you guys like try and theorize. Like after watching episode two, the lore makes sense by just saying this and that. Of course, you don't have to. It's just for fun. But yeah, since I'm not going to be editing the series anymore because I'm just done with trying. I start and something just crashes. It's like someone out there is like trying to cancel the series on purpose. Something always bad happens to it when I try and start. Either my motivation sinks or, you know, it gets corrupted. In this case, it got corrupted. But yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully if you guys like this, and I'll maybe even make an episode 2. Why don't we set the light goal to, you know, start off small, since this probably isn't like humongous, like exciting. I'll set the like bar to 5. If we get 5 likes on this video, then I'll cover episode 2. But if not, then well, there's no time limit. Well, you know, let's make the time limit mid-November. How about November 15th? November 15th will be the due date, where if this video doesn't have 5 likes by then I won't be covering episode 2. And I don't know what I'll do. But it doesn't need a certain amount of views or comments, just 5 likes by November 15th, and I'll do episode 2 review. If you guys like this or you guys don't, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.